There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy. This electricity, the power of the pioneers, tearing through history. This is our destiny.
don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, hurt you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue?
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to some more North American ESL Challenger League. It's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips with you again. It's CS2 again. It's going to take a minute to get used to that one. But Nate, we have ourselves an interesting matchup between a team that's trying to make a name for themselves and one which we already know what they can do.
Yeah, one team that we know full and well, and of course, one that is still very much trying to prove themselves and are doing fairly successfully in that endeavor at that. First up, the schedule for tonight, we do have EG versus Unjustified, just to do away with any speculation there. And of course, on the other stream, we do have Fluffy Aimers versus Nouns. Now, diving into our matchup specifically, talking about Unjustified, because you said they're trying to make a name for themselves, they have done pretty well thus far in this season of ECL Fogs.
Yeah, guys like Arcade, Wolfie, and Cyrix are definitely some names that we've seen around the scene for a while. No, it's not M80 Wolfie, it's the other one. We do have two of those here in North America. Lake and Seb round out that roster. And then on Evil Geniuses, if you guys have not been living under a rock, not watch or covering the qualifiers, watching the qualifiers, you know who they are. If not, let's refresh your memory. It is Junior, Walco, Hext, Automatic, and George. Automatic, yes, the major winner. Junior, yes, former Furia player. George, absolute legend. Walco and Hext, former members of RBG way back in the day, Nate. The only two remaining players from that core, as a matter of fact.
Talking about ancient history, Bogs, RBG is an old name that I've not heard in quite a while. And of course, those two players from that team. EG, a fairly solid team thus far. We've seen them competing in some of the closed qualifiers for North America recently. We've seen them running through ECL League and the likes. They look pretty good overall on Counter-Strike 2. A little bit shaky, as we saw in the Yanshou closed qualifiers, narrowly losing out there. Unjustified, though, on the other side, actually taking some big names, bigger names than you would expect in ECL, taking down Party Astronauts 2-0, a very big one, playing against some teams maybe on more even footing, taking down Take Flight and Fluffy Aimers. Their only two losses thus far in the season coming to two heavy hitter teams, being Wildcard and M80.
Yeah, definitely not a bad record at all for Unjustified, especially taking the scalp of the Party Astronauts. That is a very big win for them and something to build some confidence on. But then going back to a team which has already proven themselves in CS2, at the very least, competing, making the grand final of the Yanshou closed qualifier, falling in reverse sweep fashion to Nouns in that one, who reverse swept everybody they've faced. EG are just getting more and more comfortable with this one, and Junior does not look frazzled by the lack of opping power that we've seen evidenced throughout the course of CS2. For the most part, Opper is not exactly liking the way the op operates. I don't blame them. I don't either. But Junior made it work and made it work incredibly well. And the duel between him and Cyrix, I think, is going to be very important when it comes to CT versus T, as we did see Junior pick up the op a decent amount more than the T side than a lot of others.
Yeah, he still looked like he really wanted to lean into the opera role in spite of the flux that is coming from those opping changes. And I will say, while he did still look quite good, he did not look as star-studded as he normally would. Still missing some shots, I think, especially in the clutch. He was missing shots that he would not miss in CSGO. Some big opportunities that would have been in the old game that just simply could not be connected in the new. But with that said, let's jump into the bans box, starting with Unjustified, who are banning first. They drop Overpass, EG drop Anubis, leading us to the first map, one of the most contentious maps in the pool, Vertigo, as the starter in this best of three.
One team has played Vertigo quite a bit, one team has not, but Unjustified did take down Party Astronauts on the map, so that is a very good pick from them. A loss against M80 is their only other time out on it, and I believe that was CSGO quite a bit ago too. Only notable performances for EG is a 1-1 record against Forsaken on Vertigo. They do have a 5-1 record overall. They will come into it with a good idea of what to do and how to play it, but I do have to give the edge to EG just based off of how they have been playing and what kind of players they have. Unjustified, though, a bit of a dark horse on map 1.
Yeah, I would think overall in this entire series, Unjustified feel like the dark horse. We've seen what EG can do coming out of the Yanshou close qualifier for North America. They've more than run the paces in CS2. They should be very comfortable, but Unjustified still kind of an unknown team. Going on to the second map, that's the pick of EG. It is Ancient, and it's a map that we have seen so many times thus far in CS2.
Oh, we've seen Ancient almost every single series we've covered. And yes, it was always nice to see Ancient. Now it's like, all right, it's becoming the new Mirage. Maybe, just maybe we can get a little variety in here. I'd like to see some more Anubis. I've seen some pretty fun lineups on that, including a solo A Heaven, Molly, and Smoke. I like that one a lot, especially because it's one guy who can throw both that pieces of utility and get it done really fast. But Ancient, 0-4 for Unjustified. That does not bode well at all.
No, it does not bode well, and it's a loss. One of those losses included is against Take Flight on CS2. So a recent loss against a team that isn't the same caliber of EG, I dare say. Whereas EG have been playing it a lot in the qualifiers. They most recently lost it to Nouns 8-13. I believe that was in the finals, but still an overall decent record for EG, 7-5 in the last 3 months. I think EG picked this map for a reason. I think they have a very, very solid advantage going into map 2. And to me, it makes me think that map 1 is virtually a must-win for Unjustified if they want to go to 3.
I would agree. And speaking of that map number 3, Nate, it kind of does lead into that Unjustified upset potential, doesn't it? Because Nuke was removed by Unjustified, surprisingly enough, considering they did beat Party Astronauts on it, and it's a less than stellar record for Evil Geniuses, including 4 losses in a row to Nouns on Nuke. But Inferno is the band of EG, leaving it up to Mirage. They're content to fight it out tooth and nail, which I think is a bold move, considering the fact that Mirage is definitely more of a pugger's paradise. It can lead to more upsets. So a curious call from EG with the decision between Inferno and Mirage, albeit I do not hate that idea because Inferno and CS2 just seems so much more suffocating.
Yeah, Inferno feels really hard. We kept on saying that it would be a defender-sided map, or we would anticipate it to be, given the fact that all the lineups on B for executes have changed. But that wasn't the case last time we saw it. It felt very T-sided, if I recall correctly. So neither team really, or EG, excuse me, not really wanting to contend with that map. More happy to go with Mirage, even though they play both maps fairly often. And of course, Unjustified have a decent performance overall on the map, 2-0 on Mirage, but still, they haven't played it in quite a while.
No, they haven't. It'll be interesting, Nate, but I got a fave for EG regardless here. I think they are the heavy favorites coming into this, and they have to know that. They have to play like a team that's expected to win, no complacency. Just get in, get the job done, get out. That's your day. Done and dusted. Unjustified are the ones with that extra fire, that extra grit, and we could expect to see a little more grinding out of them, a little more maybe throwing some wild cards out there, some sort of off-angle, off-kilter strategies to catch the more regimented Evil Geniuses off guard, but Unjustified have quite a mountain to climb ahead of them.
I think they definitely do. EG, I would say the favorite team to win, whether it be 2-0 or 2-1. If we get to that third, Unjustified could definitely get an upset victory. We'll have to see exactly what transpires. We will be back after this short break with Vertigo. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It was a brief break, but we do have the first map upon us. Pineapple Phillips and Boggs on the mic. We are starting with the most contentious map in the CS map pool, Vertigo, the pick of Unjustified. And to remind everybody, the second two maps is Ancient, the third map is Mirage. Unjustified on their own map pick will be starting on the T side of Vertigo. An early stack, yet slow walk towards a ramp. No real contention from the EG defense to start this crawl.
Yeah, no pressure at all, but that could all change in a second. Walco and George here to hold the line, and well, Walco goes hunting, and he has gotten caught. He was actually swapping in from behind, so the A presence unrevealed as of now, but they know exactly what's happening on the EG side of things. Unjustified walking in, they have to know they're expected. They have to know the rotations are here by now. Taps from the P2000 of automatic do not go anywhere besides splitting the goalposts, and the bomb has not yet gotten planted. Retake utility is not fantastic either for EG, just the smoke on automatic and the flashbang. No response at all from the CT side, and Cyrix caps off Hexed. This one should be going the way of Unjustified, barring any serious heroics from George on the bottom of ramp. But they're not peeking into him. They're playing a very good cat and mouse game. He's tagging. He's not going to be doing any bagging. He'll get finished off there. Junior automatic swing for 2. They know where the last 3 are. No time to get that defuse either. Junior's trying to hold the line. Automatic has a kit, but he cannot get by Seb. Junior, no time, nowhere out. And he will fall in the end. Unjustified the pistol round on the map pick of themselves. And that's not a bad way to start it off, especially considering that fast flank that could have ruined it all.
They're very wise to the fast flank. In fact, they knew the second was the likely in tow. Lake holding that angle did very well to find that opening kill. And of course, held for the second, preventing any sort of timely flank from coming through. EG, despite the proactive rotation, just didn't have the right read. I would have said at like a 3 versus 5, you should be using that smoke on the bomb to try and ninja if you're going to go for it. You shouldn't try to smoke off the ramp. At that point, you're too far gone. Unjustified, nothing crazy in this round. Just a quick play towards B against pistols. The smart play, it's open and it's free. EG are just looking for damage with the starting pistols.
George falls, Junior falls, Lake is farming with that AK. Seb finally gets a little bit of bonus cash on the MAC-10. Automatic may come up with one and does after a very belabored spray of 13 rounds. Lake ends it with a quad. Unfortunately for Unjustified, it wasn't a player with an SMG. They won't care regardless, they get the round. And now it's EG's turn to buy on up. No op for Junior, won't even be contemplated, just rifles strictly across the board of the CT side. Cyrix still on an MP7, the better of the two between the MP5 and the MP7. Mac 10 for Seb.
Competition anymore. I'm going to say it right now. There's no competition. It's a buy menu now.
Well, you still are going to pick one or the other. You're not going to have 2 of them.
Or you could have neither.
Yes. Which
there's no,
you don't need.
You know, but you don't have to do one or the other. You can still do both. There's no longer any competition with the new buy menu. You don't have to keep putting them against each other.
Or you could say the competition is only increased because there's only 5 slots in the mid-tier weapons area.
It's a competition
and the
with a bunch of
M249
other
counts
guns.
in the mid-tier weapons name.
That's true. My point stands, though. It's a competition between like 20 guns instead of 2.
Somebody bought an M249 against me in a game last night. I was kind of shocked.
Sounds like a true psychological battle.
Yeah, I decided to buy the Negev in return, and the Negev was better.
Better than bad is not a high bar.
The Negev is not bad. It's serviceable in situations.
It's true. That's what I'm saying. The M249 is the bad one.
Oh, yeah. The M249
better than bad, yeah.
Why does the M249 exist in the game?
They'll change it and then leave it the way it is for 7 years. Either way, a play towards B is the call for the bonus round, and it does well in the early goings. Junior finally on the board for EG, but not before they lose a pair of players in return, and both B site defenders, might I add. Site taken, smokes down. Junior automatic trying to find inroads, and George is watching for this mid flank. If he finds this kill, it might be doable. 3 versus 3 secure. That's a good start, but the bomb is already ticking. And EG's patience is as well. No kit and next to no utility means they're going to give away the round. George looking for an upgrade towards middle. I would say the Glil is a slight upgrade over the FAMAS. He'll grab that and fall away. Junior got an AK as well, but EG still have yet to crack a score on the board. It's going to be 3-0 for Unjustified, and their economy is going to continue to blossom as they win a bonus.
Yeah, Unjustified are only going to get stronger and stronger and more confident, too. They do also pick up automatic there, so that's 1 rifle removed. Junior does get 1 more. Does he stay alive? Yes, he should behind the porta potty. Yeah, he'll be fine, but Porta John saves his life. The loss of automatic will not entice EG into a buy, presumably.
Yeah, 3 rifles saved versus 2 is actually a very big difference at this point in the CT economy. And so they'll go for that half buy. Eagle for automatic. Hexed on a CZ. Don't see that too often, but you still see it occasionally.
You
Walk
can
on
have
a
both
P250.
now.
You can have both. I wasn't even pinning against the 5.7, which is better, I will say.
Yes, I agree.
Unless you're going for a one and done. If you can get up close with the CZ, it can be better, but the 5.7 does feel like a more serviceable weapon overall. Aggression towards ramp. close only, though.
Yeah, but it's still, you're playing closer into the pistol, most likely.
It's true.
All you gotta do is tap head.
Only it was that simple, Bugs.
It's CS2, it is that simple.
It's true.
Then you just have to hope that your shot registers properly on the right tick, or else you're kind of SOL. Either way, though. All this mid control with no endpoint right now for Unjustified.
No endpoint, and they've lost the opening. A kill towards A ramp in the early goings. That was from Junior on the AK. Was that rifle snagged? Not quite. There it is. Picked up by Automatic, and Seb will find a trade elsewhere towards B, but he's low on HP. He should be caught here shortly. Junior finds one. Cyrix, though, a spray transfer. You don't see that often at all in Counter-Strike 2. But that is the kind of kills that his team needs. Steal this round back into their favor. George should get shot in the back by Wolfie. If timing works, no, it does not. George ties it back up at 2 apiece. But he's going to get caught in turn looking the wrong direction. Hit for a tat as Cyrix takes him down. Automatic, the last live in 1v1. He knows where Cyrix is, roughly speaking. But he has no kit, so he has to make this duel a quick one. And Cyrix is more than ready up top over the jump over. Unjustified continue their win streak, but EG have made the rounds costly. That should dig into this D economy and humble them a little bit going forward.
Especially that last round, too, where it was just EG with the 2 saved rifles, the pistols, the saved AK in the hands of George, and it worked out pretty darn well. It was not a bad round whatsoever for EG, considering the circumstances, and they almost came out of it with a win, just a little unlucky on the timing there. But they can be happy with that one. Now they got to get some rounds on the board, though. EG stronger statistically on the CT side than the T side. Converse is the case for Unjustified, however. Only a 33.3% win rate on the defense. But Hext has to go for more here as they walk up the stairwell and into his waiting arms. He gives them all the cold grasp of death. Is traded eventually, but 3 for 2. Is something the CTs will have to take right now. No bomb plan forthcoming yet. George has made his way to green. Peeks around, spots the shadow spots. Both of the players coming in on towards the site. And he has friends to help him out. Junior is up on jump with the op in hand. Catches Cyrix on the cross. And what can Lake really do? He's not exactly drowning in a wealth of probabilities and possibilities, is he?
No, he's not. He's in a very enviable situation. Flanked from Automatic. We've seen it quite a few times at this stage. And one and done's all he needs. He finds the final kill. Keeps 3 up. 2 AKs recovered. EG, a very solid victory to get themselves on the board. Now they need to be chipping away at the lead Unjustified built. And this will be a good round to do so, as Unjustified are on a save. It's going to be pistols and some Kevlar, a little bit of utility. It would behoove Unjustified to go quick and aggressive. We'll see if they actually go for such a play.
A ramp looks like it's going to be the right idea, and I think that's the right call. It's the best option for them, especially if they can take Junior down, but there's an aggressive peek from the Opper, and he does strike clean and quickly. Drops a nade on him, too. Can Automatic equal the spray transfer? He does pick up the pair, goes for the third, and goes back for the quad. Sidearm to save the day, but that was a very crispy little spray transfer there from Automatic. Not quite as nice as Cyrix's, but he had to go for more afterwards, so all in all, bit of an equalizer right there, and now we're back to a 2-round deficit for EG. They've cut the lead in half, and there's Galils on 3 players of their opposition. EG has got Unjustified theoretically right where they would want them for an early break after a rough start.
This is the best comeback they could ask for. They've kept it rather clean and convincing in the last 2 rounds. 3 surviving the first win, all 5 in the second. And now they're against compromised weapons because they prevented the bomb plant. Seb, in spite of having only a Galil, does start things off right. Quick kill onto Hext. Now a slowdown from the offense as they have the advantage. Now EG have to find an equalizer.
Will it come from aggression or will it come from the hole? Though aggression is not the answer to the problem. As Automatic, it's domed by Cyrix. George has the nade ready to roll, and it does do a decent amount of chip to 4 players. Just smoke off to Ivy before he backs away behind the site stack. Junior here as well to help him out, but that smoke wheel guys off the vision of his Opper. Counter utility being tossed in around that site. George is able to pick up 1 and does a lot of damage onto a second, but he cannot quite get that next kill. Junior Holding before Walco can come through. Bomb plant will be allowed. The nade will be too late. An Arcade would still have lived through it anyway. Seb on Ivy gets Walco's trade. And Junior is forced to retreat. Save his op. Is Unjustified. Will go back up by 3 and will not take the op into the hands of Junior just yet. And now in a 2v3, or 2v1 rather, it's technically possible, but the time is not really there for him. He's not going to risk it. Keep the Gunganir in hand and concede a 5th over to the opposition.
I love this 10-second beeping as well. Very good quality of life change.
It's a quality of life change at the same time, though. The Counter-Strike elitist in me is like, yeah, but it's a skill thing to know the music.
What's it to know the music and also just to have it enabled, but why not make it an explicit thing in the game? Why make it something that's slightly more esoteric when it can just be hard-coded the same way?
Because don't you want to feel just superior to all the noobs who don't know the tactic?
I'd rather them keep the skill jumps for that.
I'm being sarcastic, Nate.
I know. But, bring back the old style nuke jump across instead.
Oh, that was
fun. You
fun.
can feel superior with that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's like hitting the cat jump on Mirage, too.
Exactly.
But that jump still takes a good amount of skill.
Yeah. I also want to highlight, we talked about how sprays are harder to hit, multi-kills are harder to hit. We've seen 3 2Ks on sprays. 2 with the AK, Cyrix, and I want to say Junior. And then Hexed
automatic.
on B side as well. It was automatic. And then we had Hexed on B side double stat.
Yeah, with the M4A4.
Yep. So maybe players are getting more comfortable with the weapons. That would reflect in Junior's scoreline as well, as he is second on the board at 8, right behind Automatic, who, if you can recall, had a 4K on an anti-eco.
Yep, with that spray transfer you brought up as well. Seb's gone in front of the fire, and he's slipped under the stairs. They seem to be aware that he's still here, though. He's burning away. The Minecraft hiss, the Creeper hiss will catch him, and that nade will do a chunky bit of damage for Hexed. Will he go back for more, though? Walco actually does get the finisher. So Seb gets naded and burned. All that damage, 100% utility. And he didn't even get to see a single player for his trouble. Walco trades out Hexed as Arcade creeps up the stairs around that smoke, which is a bit of a one-way for the offense here. Junior does pick off Lake, though, and that might just spur a retreat from Unjustified, who are still hanging around the stairwell. Cyrix and Wolfie, though, utility in hand, looking for a way back in. It's not going to be easy. Walco just has to hold, the in-game leader of EG. Doesn't even need to call for help either. And I think Automatic just cleared in behind, down through A ramp too. So he also knows A is pretty much clear.
Automatic has been pushing that ramp prolifically. Almost every single round where he doesn't get contact A, he'll press down. Rather smothering for the attack when the opening frags don't go their way. George burns away Cyrix. 2 utility kills in the round, not to mention all the other damage done otherwise. Junior, over the smoke, finds the final nail in the coffin. EG, off the back of their tactical pause, find a victory. Again, they prevent a bomb plant, and that is a deathly blow to the T-side economy. They are now on a double save. No choice but to invest. 1 hero Galil for Lake, a couple pistols with Kevlar. Seb might save for an op if he feels so lucky, but this should be another round for EG, and that would bring them within 1 of tying it up.
Would be a tie at a pretty consequential point in the game, too, with only 2 rounds to go in the half. EG could still steal away half number 1 victory if they were able to tie it up at 5-all. But even then, I think at this point, a 6-6 scoreline would not be unwelcome for EG, considering they had a pretty rough start of 0-4. As it stands right now, they've won 3-1 of Unjustified. Walco spots a shadow, spots a leg. Now he has a good idea there's multiple people here. George could get caught, and he will. Walco kind of just baits his teammate. Can't even get the trade. Hexed with 1, but only 2. Automatic, though. If he can pick up Wolf, he can turn this into a 2v2. Does he clear left? No, he doesn't. There's no way he does. A lineup, and how in the world does Wolfie die without a kill? Junior's no-scope may have just saved Evil Geniuses in the round, but it's not done yet. Armor and weapons here for the T's. Lake just under drop is going to keep an eye on the heads there. 1 and not the second. Junior on the rifle looking for the Hattie. Jumps down onto side, has utility to work with. Does he expect Arcade behind him? He does not. No idea. And Unjustified will strike right back and grab the 6th. That was a fast explosion through middle. that caught EG with their proverbial pants down.
Yep, and the advanced positions taken by Unjustified, risky, but paying off big. The first player up close with that Tech 9, I think he missed the shots because he had like 3 rounds left in the magazine. However, I would not have expected Junior to get the kill. It should have been his teammate to get the kill there. The op no scope, a little bit of flare. The second player not expected under the boost, and the third one even less so, all the way towards CT spawn in the smoke. Uncharacteristic and one-and-done spots, net Unjustified the victory in an unexpected way, and now Junior is in a very unfavorable position, stuck with flames at his heels and 3 players holding. He'll smoke, he'll try to survive, but with an op, this angle seems very unlikely. George to support selflessly runs down. Lots of damage again from the utility, but no kills snagged by the EG defense.
No kills yet, but those 2 MP9s can easily eat up those softened targets of Arcade and Cyrix. Utility starting to run a little bit thin too for the T's, but Automatic up close has to be careful not to go even one and done. It's been a problem for EG. They've been going one and done far too often here. There's one of them, George, too. He gets those 2 low HP players. But he does get traded right after. No refrag yet from EG. 3v2 in their favor. Walco spotted. Has the weaker of the firepower here compared to the AK and the M4A4. Nade will not land on him. He thought it was a flashbang, so he dipped down. Counter Molotov thrown as well. All 3 EG players ready and holding. Pushing to CT from Wolf. He does grab Hexed. That's another player who just gets swung on from an Unjustified player, and EG have no way to counter that besides a trade, which comes far too late and far too costly. They know where Walco is. Lake's got an idea, walks into the crosshair of Junior, who saves the money for EG. Again, a shaky round victory for the Evil Geniuses, though. And again, the money broken for Unjustified. It's such an awkward end to this half, considering their lack of funds.
Yeah. While EG are down score-wise, they have done very well to punish the T-side economy. EG going to have full rifles at least and decent enough utility. Again, it feels like the foreignness, if that's the word I could use, I guess, the confusion with the sprays and the different weapons has kind of been abated as players have played more. The op of Junior's finally hitting. The rifle sprays are as well. That is a good start against the Glocks. Seb taken down. Good utility damage again. EG's utility has been on point on Vertigo.
Their utility has been phenomenal so far. And that's what you would expect from this team, too. A lot of staff behind these players and a lot of information to utilize. There's one more for Automatic. George backing up, and he'll get the 3 eco frags there at the end. Last round of the half, Nate. And it all comes down to one last-ditch buy from Unjustified, which will have some utility. A pair of Galils, probably 3, unless Arcade opts for the MAC-10. It'll be a Galil boy as well. So 3 Galils, 2 AKs, an okay amount of utility. And EG with everything they want.
Those last 3 kills from George kind of seem less crazy because it's against literal Glocks, but still crispy as can be. But we always hype this player up so much because he plays support, but his aim is that of a star.
He used to be a star.
He did. He's kind of fallen back. He still answers the call when necessary, but scorelines have been more muted, more humble. George off angle towards the middle. This has been played before. Will they expect it, though? It's been quite a while since we last seen it. Boost up for Lake. This is the opening spot. The leg by George. So much spam through the wall, but not a kill. Arcade and Cyrix both find openings that go unanswered, and Walco now in CT spawn has to do a lot. At least 2 is required. He's found the first, but he's taking a good amount of damage. He'll fall back into B. Good readjustment. Good smoke. Things are already getting awkward. Hex trying to support, but he's boxed in now with a flank from Seb. Unjustified might have made the right read in the final round of this half. X holding the angle, misses the spray, only does damage, and now Walco stuck between a rock and a hard place. In the smoke, he'll run into one. Lake knows. Lake finds him through the smoke. It leaves just Junior on the op. He's going for the automatic flank. It's found Unjustified. It's called him out at least 3 rounds. Surely he doesn't get it this time. Walking in, Arcade's already holding. There should be a free one, and it is. Unjustified recover the half, but can they take their first map? We'll see after the break.
Here we are back in the action. Unjustified take a lead into the CT half of Vertigo. Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the mic with you all this evening. Wolfie on the B side. Junior already taking some damage. EG on their opponent's map pick now to the T side. CT statistically Unjustified's significantly weaker side, only a 33.3% win rate, so 1 out of every 3 rounds is that statistic. Meanwhile, EG 51.5. Wolfie though picks off 1, still holding the line. Has some help as well, but he cannot get any more done. Hext and George, the double entries. 7 Arcade still here, though. All 3 remaining players from Unjustified on the B side, at least making their way on through, holding the cross. Seb is up close and personal, but this could be his undoing. Nade's not doing a good amount of damage, really. Contrast that to EG's CT half, an automatic picks off Sirix with some Glock taps. Seb undiscovered, swings out wide. George with the last 2. And the man we picked off with crispy aim from the last half kicks off this one with a critical pistol.
It's a big start to find. Good to see both pistol rounds don't go the way of Unjustified. Does help EG in their way back into this one. Keep in mind, they've kind of been on the tail end for a while. Almost tying up that half, but losing it in the end. Might as well, this game started off 4-0 in favor of Unjustified, and now it's at 7-6. Lead a shadow of its former self, and in fact, it's going to be completely eliminated in this round unless the USPs have something to say about it. Not a penny invested, as far as I can tell. Maybe a flash, actually, for Lake. Nothing much more. It's just those starting pistols against the buy-up from EG. So I expect this to be a rather succinct one in the attacking side's favor, but we might see a kill or 2 from the pistols. On top, forces Arcade to his death, trying to walk out as best he can. Player back sight doesn't fare any better. Automatic takes him down. Junior finds Seb, the last alive Wolfie. He's on the jump up. Again, he might find one by the novelty of his angle, but no, not even that. Walko flying through the sky does deed and ties up the game. 7 apiece. Unjustified should have a rifle buy on deck, but EG have a bonus round buy and a very formidable one at that. 4 Galils and a MAC-10. It's a very potent overall, so what I'm looking for, weaponry, overall investment, I guess is the best way to put it, against the likes of the M4s and the FAMAS. Utility, a little bit lackluster for Unjustified as well.
The Glill's not bad, especially when your opponents don't have helmets. This one might be a little more difficult for EG. But Volko can even do some softening damage with that MAC-10 as the spear point. Basically thrust through the shields of the hoplite phalanx. Then maybe, just maybe, there's a window in for the rest of the squad to follow it up. The nade stack artillery strike flushes Arcade out and automatic picks him off. Good flash from Hext as support. Lake is here as well as 3 total players holding the A site. Sirix and Wolfie, his compatriots. They're holding for the push. Automatic up top. Will get cleared and will get cleared expertly. Lake and Sirix will get a pair. But Wolfie and Lake both down very low. 27 on Wolfie. 8 health on Lake. Hext creeping up middle has been spotted. The bomb still outside A. But that's going to sow some dissent in Unjustified's mind as to where EG wants to end. They do still have Seb holding the B site. But it's going to go to a more 1-1. Sort of like, no, it's going to even out into a 2-2. I thought they would put at least somebody mid. Keep an eye on Hex there, but they're just going to stay on the sites and hope they can hold the line. George is going to go for a ninja plant, though, just behind that box and that smoke, utilizing it to cross, flashbang to mask the sound, and Hex over top gets a pair of kills. Actually, it was George was on top. Hex was just shooting the right way. That's a
shot
very
through the
bit
smoke,
of
I
impressive
think.
work. Yeah.
It's a pair of kills completely through the smoke. Maybe the players were spotted by George. I don't know. Regardless, that seals the fate of the round.
If they popped up on the minimap because George saw him.
I feel like that's the only way that that happens because it was 2 very quick kills.
That was way too clean.
Definitely was. And that does seal the round in his team's favor at that. EG getting the lead, I think, for the first time in this map. It'll be 8-7. These last 2 rifles are going to be saved, or at least attempted to be saved. Seb and Wolfie, M4A4 and A1S respectively. Bomb should go off without a hitch here. It doesn't look like they're hunting too voraciously either, so both players should survive. But as we talked about in the first half, if only 2 players on the CT side survive, I don't think they go for the investment. It's just not justifiable. And so it should be pistols and Kevlar surrounding these rifles, and it should potentially or likely be a 9th round for EG by extension.
It's a good opportunity for EG to really start establishing control of this map. And thereby the match, too, because Ancient does really favor them, too. Now it's just, don't die to the M4s here. Don't die to the pistols. Don't give extra guns the extra players around. That's a good start for that. Arcade goes peeking. George denies any information. And slow and steady they go. That's a great molly, 2 onto Seb. He's burning down to 55. The flashbang to combo, but Wolfie, a triple spray down. Headshots delivered. Junior only 1. Automatic has to clutch up, and this is exactly the scenario that EG needed to avoid. Nade does a lot, but not enough. It's a quad on the round from Wolfie. The M4 does so much for him. That is a hero play that has just got Unjustified back into the swing of things.
Stolen round, if I've ever seen one. A nasty triple to open it up, capped off with a final kill onto Automatic. That's a feather in the hat. And that is a round that, again, Unjustified should not have taken. They tied it right back up. EG do have enough money to reinvest, including the opt for Junior, but they are out of bank. If they lose this round, especially if they lack the bomb plant, it should be a save. Arcade probably spotted by Junior there. Nade over the smoke. No, Junior didn't see it, but Automatic does cover his teammate when required. Big opener to find. Junior very lucky to stay alive after that engagement.
That's a huge one from Seb to find, too. I thought he was dead to rights, but he's able to find George before he dies. Nade will not finish him. It actually drops off the edge of the map. Wolfie flashed out and mollied out. Walco shuts him down. 4v2. But EG cannot get comfortable now, given what happened in the last round. They had everything, and then suddenly, nothing. Lake crouches under the crosshair of Automatic. That leaves the bomb in limbo out towards B stairs. The Opposiric still up on jump up. Keeping an eye on the cross, Molotov in hand as well to prevent any bomb plants. Time is on the side of EG still. But for how much longer? Ticks down more and more.
This flank from Lake could be huge as well if he goes down the ladder. I'm not sure anybody's going to watch for it. Might even seen Opera's duel out onto the site. Sirix, as you mentioned, over the jump up, actually all the way back towards CT spawn. I think they are reading this as a double fake. Lake is flanking back towards B, but where's the op? Is the op just cutting ties with the round? It might be. Junior's already on this angle. Lake's going to walk right into it. Should be a free kill, and it is. Junior does him in. Sirix was finally rotating towards spawn, but too little too late. His teammate falls. No possibility of a trade. And a 1 versus 3 with an op is near impossible in CSGO, and definitely impossible in CS2. Sirix going to head for the hills. And EG do retake that tenuous lead that they had established a couple rounds prior.
Yeah, it was a far cry to get a 1v3 in CSGO where the op was still very strong. In CS2, it's not even worth contemplating. It's not worth the calories that you would have to burn to think, hey, should I go for this? It's not even worth that. Junior's gone for that T-side off, Nate, and he's 18-6, so I'm not going to question him. He's got a 3.0 KD.
He's done well with it. Again, I feel like he's far more at home now. Compared to what we saw at the on-shipping close qualifier, it feels far more comfortable, a little more flashy. I feel like people are, more style, more finesse coming from time on the weapon. I feel like everybody's getting more comfortable and getting back to CS of old, as it were. Opdual towards ramp, though, for Sirix. He's rather keen on it. His nade won't dissipate the full brunt of that smoke, so he won't get the peak he wanted. And as such, he'll fall away. The bulk of this EG offensive is throwing utility towards B, though not committing. Showing presence across the map, drawing out utility, done a decent job of that thus far as well.
Arcade might have spotted somebody around. No, that was just the X-ray deceiving me, clouding my vision. Nade, though. That's a chunky one. Junior does catch off Arcade, going for a peek, and that's what EG was hoping for. They were egging them into a peek, egging them into some sort of info play, and then it was just capitalizing on that over-aggression. A lurk up from George onto B. Does it find any fruit? Seb is there, waiting. As EG work their way on up the A ramp slowly and steadily. There's one from Sirix. He's able to dive back around an Ivy. George still has not made his move over towards B. He's going to run right into Seb here, and that's going to sow some more confusion. Utility flying through. The bomb is running back. This could cause it all to fall down for EG. They have no time left. Hext is on A. He's going to clear out Lake or be found out. Either way, he's going to get backstabbed here. The round is done and dusted. Unjustified will tie things up here. And they keep 3 alive to boot. EG overthinking things in that round, over-contemplating what they had to do. That is a timeout round for me, if I'm EG.
Definitely got too complacent. They found the openings and didn't let go of their shift key. And you called it perfectly, Bugs. It is a timeout round. It's a round where they got lost in the sauce, lost track of time, and overthought things through and through. The moment that George got up those stairs unspotted, maybe even a little bit later, maybe once he got past white box without being spotted, that triggers a rotation and a running one at that. Should be far sooner than the kill. So EG will talk things out. Their money's not great either, though. I would have rather seen a timeout in the following when they could actually go for a rifle buy, but I digress. One timeout at a less than ideal time is better than no timeout at all. Unjustified, however, riding high. Good money, good utility, rifles across the board. Their money's actually not the best. Lake is at 3,100. Everybody else is kind of low, but for the most part, things are looking good for the defense.
Things are starting to look up for the defense for sure. That op shot from Sirix doesn't connect, but pistols of EG, far less of a threat than the rifles they possessed in the last few rounds. Glocks on 3, Deagle and P250, George an automatic. Big miss from Sirix. Now he falls victim to the push from Hext's Glock. Arcade and Seb will mop up the mess, but still that's a bit awkward. A bit unlucky too for Sirix. That shot probably hits in CSGO, but the rest of it is no fuss about that round. Unjustified grab a lead very late here as we get towards the dying embers of map number 1. Again, the pick of Unjustified, map 2 Ancient, as you can see in the top right of your screen currently right now. It'll also display the score moving forward. So when we do hop to map 2 and potentially map 3, you guys can always see what's going on over there. If you have any questions about what the scores and what the maps are, the HUD does provide, the magical HUD. But this has to be a magical round for EG, or else Unjustified will find themselves looking down the barrel of a possible 12th. And then EG are looking down the barrel of a map 1 loss. This is getting down to the wire, and EG have no other option but to win their way through. Oh, that's some good spam.
And a nade. Oh, doesn't go quite far enough, but still the damage has been done. It's a very meaningful damage to an Opper. Volko, though, burns Wolfie alive. The Opper Sirix does not miss towards middle this time, but it is traded by Hext. That maintains the advantage for EG. Hext is holding for this rotation as well. I love this angle from him. Lake doesn't even consider it. He will clear it, but Hex is too quick with the headshot. The Galil works. The Op of Junior as well trades out Seb. Bomb recovered. 3v1 secured in Arcade. Will he try this? If he can find a kill early before the bomb is planted, he definitely will, but he's going to be hard-pressed to find that opening. Swing over, doesn't see the guy behind the pillar back sight. Junior's not giving away his position either. Arcade does spot the edge of Walco. All he goes forward, forces him across, but he can't get the kill. That is the round. Arcade falling away. Might try to find that op towards middle. And he will. But EG do tie it up again. We do have quite the barn burner on our hands, Boggs, at the end of this first map.
Yeah, nothing separating these two teams. And it's just back and forth Counter-Strike. Big plays from one side, good teamwork, and big plays from the other. Just bringing it back and forth, the seesaw. And no one's been able to disrupt the equilibrium just yet, Nate. And until that happens, we're going to continue going back and forth. Just in case you guys weren't familiar with how overtime works in CS2, it is the same as CSGO. MR3, 12.5k in the bank. So that at least is the same. But EG want to avoid that, so do Unjustified. I wonder who the pressure's higher on right now, though. Unjustified or EG? Because EG, they're like, ah, crap, we're still this close with Unjustified. And for Unjustified, it's, holy smoke, we are so close to winning. We can do this, boys.
I say Unjustified are definitely punching above their weight class. I was expecting something of the sorts given their victory 2-0 over Party Astronauts, but it's still definitely a sight for sore eyes seeing another team punching this far above their metaphorical weight class. EG still has some growing pains, automatic on a Galil, for example, but there are still ops in play for both teams. Lake and off angle to start things off. George might get caught, or automatic perhaps. There's a straight utility towards A double kill for Arcade on top side. Excuse me, a triple kill. Cyrix finds Junior as well, winning the first op duel we've seen in this first map, and it leaves just Hexed alone. He's had an okay performance with some impactful frags, but he's on a lurk alone towards middle, and his spray is anything but clean. He will tap away the first, but he's lost half of his HP, and he has no bomb control either. This has the looks of an unjustified round, and a very unorthodox setup on A calls out the aggression from the attacking side.
Yeah, I like that little advanced play. And then Arcade just blind as a bat up top, getting all three of those kills. Couldn't ask much better for Unjustified, although he does fall to Hex in the crouch swing nade to follow it up. Bomb somewhere at the feet of these two remaining CTs.
On the ramp right there.
Yep, right there.
Directly in the middle of the square.
Yep. That Molly might just shut down Hex, though. He's pretty much got nowhere to go. And the prospect of the op, too. That's a good finish from Cyrix. And a late lead for Unjustified. Only two more. That's all they need.
We've said a late lead for Unjustified 2 or 3 times at this point. It's so back and forth. I think the difference maker here is that the EG economy has been firmly broken. And they have used their third tactical timeout. This is a good time to use it. It's a critical juncture. Do you save to fight for overtime, or do you buy to try and prevent it? The buy is far-fetched, but 2 rounds in a row, given how this half has gone, is also a rather difficult proposition. Looking at the money, Junior could go for a Hero AK with armor and a little bit of utility. Automatic could go for armor. Galil, no utility. George could do the same with like a flash. It's definitely less than ideal, but a fast play towards either A or not even A, a fast play towards B with like Tech 9s or some SMGs could work out for EG.
They're going to need some pistol magic, Nate, or else they're going to be fighting for OT. That's exactly where EG do not want to find themselves. Ancient is their map pick, and it is not a great map historically for Unjustified, but EG want to avoid going to a third. Cyrix.
Solid toes of Walko. Knows it's a possibility that he walks out.
Seb there to back him up saves the day. That's literally what saves Cyrix's life right there, because timing was on Walko's side. The angle was on his side. He could have just popped up outside of the vision of the scope and bang, bang. That would have been a good ending for Cyrix and a very good start for EG. However, that's in a different universe. And I'm not about to debate string theory.
Not about to get that meta, I'll be honest. My brain is already too empty as is for this one. 1 P250 is the lone upgraded weapon for EG. No Kevlar. A Shadow might have been spotted towards the middle as well. Basically what I'm saying is EG should not have a shot in the dark in this one. It should be a rather swift mop-up. I'd say their best case scenario is a bomb plant, and that is a massive best case. 3 found, 4 found, unanswered. The last alive towards middle, not long for the world. A Seb puts him to the ground. 12 to 10 secured, as expected. A clean one as well could build the confidence and the economy as well. That means Unjustified will have all the utility to back up the riflery. EG, they saved for this moment. They now have to win 2 in a row to get to overtime on map 1. Or Unjustified will see them off to the decrepit ruins of Ancient.
The Galils are going to have to carry the day, that or the Opov Jr., who is carrying the team, 20-10. He's done a lot of work. Could use a little more rivalry around him to back him up. Overall, I want to say EG have also gathered more kills total than Unjustified have. And yet
wait a minute. This is an aside, but there's a long straight on Unjustified. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 kills.
Oh, yeah.
Don't see that often. Have to point it out when you can.
Yeah, thanks for noticing that. It's literally perfect on the HUD, too.
It is.
That is amazing. Screenshot that, because you won't see it again.
So they do have, like, 3 more kills. Because we have an 11, 13, 14, 15 on the side of EG, with a 20 being the standout. So that's 4 more kills. And then subtract 1 to add on to Walco. It's like 2 more kills. It's something absurdly small. I'm not going to actually run the numbers. I got a BA, not a BS. Speaking of BS, this round is anything but. Everything on the line for EG. And their play definitely reflects it. They are scared. They are slow. And the aggression from Unjustified, the confidence of Wolfie, might just do EG in. A very timely flank over towards B. 4 players here. None watching for it. Wolfie's not going to bide his time. He'll just find one, throw Molotov, and survive. He'll force them, compel them into B, and this should be the writing on the wall. 20 seconds left. This defense is ready. Hexto finds the opening. Cyrex through the smoke does trade, and he has support as well from Lake. Walco low, Walco gone. Automatic the last. He was lurking around. He found that backstabber, but with 8 seconds left, there's nowhere to go. He can find some kills, sure, but this is the game. This is the map done and dusted. 13-10 in favor of Unjustified, and quite the statement on their own map pick, might I add.
That was a very good game from Unjustified. Well done. A little bit of scrappy, a little bit of off-angle, cheeky plays, but it got the job done. That's what they needed to do. Map number 1 was a key to victory for them in this series, and they accomplished mission number 1. Anything they can do on Ancient is just bonus. Mirage is where you would look to them to try and get this series over the line, but an incredible bit of teamwork from this squad on Unjustified. Very even across the board. The gutsiness of Wolfie to do that ladder drop, and then the presence of mind to just be like, hey, there's 30 seconds on the clock. I kill one, throw the molly, you guys get the rotation over. I trust my teammates to clean up the rest of this. That was a really well trusting Unjustified team. So many of their setups were based off of one player playing off of another and having the faith and the confidence in that particular teammate to get that job done.
Yeah, you mentioned that this game was a bit scrappy here and there. What is North American ECL if not scrappy? It is all about attrition. It's about winning duels, about making them favorable with flashbangs. And honestly, the fights are never pretty. In fact, in Counter-Strike 2, they're definitely ugly, I dare say. But Unjustified do get it across the line. We have to temper expectations for Ancient. Again, EG heavy favorites there, excuse me.
Yes, they are. Very heavy favorites here coming into the series, but now, maybe not so much. Ancient will be map number 2. EG heavily favorited once again on that map, but will they get it over the line and take us to Mirage, or can Unjustified pull a back-to-back 2-0 upsets? Find out when we return from the break.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Nights when you made this decision, nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, hurt you holding on to, scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you. What you holding on to? Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Said that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. These miles away, I'm left here with you. Said that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue?
Well, here we are. It's map number 2. Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the call. EG dropping map number 1 to Unjustified. The pick of Unjustified, it was 13-10. And Nate, that means EG have a must-win map up against them right now. And Unjustified, they have themselves an upset watch going on. I don't think this round's live. This doesn't look like a live round. So
No, definitely not. Nope, there it goes.
Yep.
Of course.
Oh. We'll see if this one takes a minute.
This one's going to take a minute. Probably to come to the cameras if I had to guess. I'm going to talk things through, break down the map a little bit more. We have some time on our hands, and that means we can dig into the nitty-gritty, dig into the stats. Again, to recap for Ancient, over the last 3 months, a 7-5 overall record for EG, playing it fairly recently versus Nouns and losing it. On the other side of the equation, we do have Unjustified. Hot off that win on Vertigo, they've played it 4 times. They've lost it every single time. Most recently on October 6th against Take Flight, and that was a 10-13 loss. Again, our predictions coming into this was either a 2-0/2-1 in favor of EG, or B, a 2-1 for Unjustified. We said that first map would be a must-win for them, and Ancient was kind of written off as a loss for Unjustified in both of our opinions.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real statistical advantage or even somewhat of a window of opportunity that you can see for Unjustified looking at Ancient, but they did take down EG on Vertigo. That does add the intangible side of things, the confidence that Unjustified have just built for themselves, and the doubt that EG might have after that as well. I mean, if you're EG, you had plenty of opportunities to, at the very least, get towards 11-12 rounds on the board and take it to overtime. You missed your hurdles at the biggest stages. And for Unjustified, they came out ahead. When they had to win a round, they won the round. When they had an opportunity to try something weird and wacky, they tried it. And most of the time it worked. It was a gamble, high risk, high reward style of play. And that's kind of how an underdog have to operate. And that's exactly what they did and executed perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. Now, coming into Ancient, looking at the stats for Unjustified, they actually paint a better picture than an 0-4 record. They have a decent CT side and just a really subpar T side. I think it's like 30-something% win rate on T side, whereas like a 52% on the CT. That means, given what we've seen, it looks like Unjustified are starting on the CT side. I think that's safe to assume at this point. I would say they need to get probably 7 minimum. I would say 8 or even 9 would be ideal if they want to win this map. But again, they feel kind of like a dark horse because they played it once in the last 2 months.
Yeah, they're less of a dark horse on Ancient than just a plain old underdog, I feel. But here we are back into the game so we can get this one kicked off. We can stop speculating and figure out what exactly is going to happen here on Ancient. Double dualies, Lake and Wolfie. They're a raid boss too. That's the double dually purchase for Arcade and a flashbang. That's dropped over to Cyrix. Everybody on EG Glocks. A little bit of utility scattered around. Lake and Donut can ruin this push pretty quick here, but he's got to get the kills, and he gets nothing.
Double dualies necessitates no kit as well. That means this retakes one have to be a quick and fiery one if they want to find success. Hexed, though, catches Arcade. That's a 2-man advantage now secured. Sure, Wolfie still has those dualies, as we mentioned, but they have a lot to do if they want to get in this one. And actually, it looks like Unjustified are going to save their Kevlar for another day. Wolfie walking mid was maybe thinking about trying to find an exit, but he is swiftly reconsidering that. Never mind, he's out of the round. Walko double dinks him and puts him into the ground. The last 2, 7 Cyrix, however you want to pronounce it, towards the middle /B. And Walko on this flank could catch them both. 10-second timer has started. And they'll take some damage. Seb, 1 taps 1 automatic hit for tap. Cyrix, the last alive with the dualies. She'll get caught from behind, and he is. The IGL doubles down. Hext, Junior, and Automatic all finding 1 as well. It's a good start for EG on their map pick.
It's a very good start for EG on their map pick. They just have to continue that streak. They cannot let things slip out of their hands. Just get the job done 1 map at a time. 1 round at a time, really, not 1 map at a time, because They only have 2 more maps if they want to win this series. They have this one and Mirage if they want to take it. If not, Unjustified will claim themselves victory. They got the hard part done with that first map on the board. And then comes the harder part. So nothing's ever easy when you're the underdog. Everything's difficult, slog. It's just gotta compartmentalize everything. Take it slow and steady. Like the tortoise versus the hare.
It's a good analogy. Unjustified. A 4 nade buy. Could really do in any sort of pop play, and they are leaning the right direction as well. All 5 Unjustified players are present towards B. These nades could be a very nasty rain on this parade. Instead, they'll just fight, though. The USP is good for 1. Damage onto a second. The Junior drops Arcade. The nades at this point can't do anything. Too little, too late. Seb around the smoke should not be able to find anything to try to swing, and that's just Junior finding a free headshot. Last alive is Wolfie. He'll hear Junior, but he won't get the kill. Junior finding 3. Another hot start for him on this one. EG a second. Justified. Their first rifle buy should be on the horizon now.
M4s, FAMAS, no kit. That's the operative, I think, here, Nate. No kit, lack of utility. Unjustified are going to have to do it with the gunfights and gunfights only. Galil's opposing them with 1 AK on automatic. Good amount of utility on that T side as well. Not exactly what you would consider to be a very clean situation for Unjustified. But hey, just starts with 1 kill. And it's almost a very similar start to what EG had on map number 1. Except it's Unjustified now in the O spot and EG with the rounds of the board.
Shoes on the other foot.
Mm-hmm.
Walk a mile in their shoes, and let me tell you, they got excellent arch support. How many more metaphors can we fit in? I'm all out. I'll be honest. Round's a very slow one. We got some time because EG, again, losing track of time and just biding, waiting, hoping that Unjustified get a little bit antsy.
Under the enchantment of Circe, it seems, stuck on the island with no way out.
No utility, though. That makes this doable in the late stages.
Very. But the rotations are here. They're already clearing up Snake. This is a well-read play for Unjustified. They know what's coming. They just have to win the fights. Lake with a swing for 2. He only gets 1. The FAMAS lines up another. But Sirix has come through to bring it to a 3v2. Bomb will not be attempted to go down just yet. 1 coming in through main is Wolfie. Now Junior sticks it. He's running through, and Sirix through the smoke doesn't clear out. He's just trying to stop the plant. That was his whole entire goal. Junior, though, plants in that smoke. Hex takes that dink. Junior shows! Messy spray from Wolfie, but it gets the job done. Hex 1 HP. Seb finishes it off. And unlike EG, Unjustified are able to break that early streak and get a much-needed round on the board. I do have to agree with you, Nate. I feel like Unjustified really do need at least 7 out of this half. I would say 8 or 9 really to give them a strong footing. This is a good start here, although they do let the bomb go down. They do take a lot of casualties. If they can win this next one, then they can start building.
I think 8 or 9 is where things become feasible. 7 is where you're desperate, but it's doable. It's the best way to put it. Op present for Junior. The buy for EG, though, is kind of all over the place. It is an investment, but there's a Galil and there's a P250 for Walco. Unjustified similarly making compromises, albeit not as desperate as the P250 Gambit. It's the MP9 for Arcade. An early lean towards B, which has already been contested by Sirix. Dink down onto Junior. Op player down. And gives it to the big brain IGL. Walco's at a decent start. The question is, can he actually op in CS2? So much damage from the MP9 of Arcade. He'll get caught, sure, but George and Automatic, both so incredibly low. That SMG doing so much up close.
That's what the SMG has to do. That's its job. And it was executed very well. Slow again from EG, Nate. They really like to take their sweet time, slow it down, maybe sit down, read a book. Then they'll get going again. Maybe they even stop for snacks. You never know. Because look how it's still lay there even after the smokes go down. Seb's timing that take well, and EG's just lollygagging. Lake and Wolfie will get the extremity kills, and the bomb plan not yet coming through. 2 left for EG. Automatic low HP has the op in hand. He's still stuck towards ramp, and flashes will not be there. There's no utility for Unjustified. It's going to be dry. Fights all the way. Good swing on to automatic. They know where Hex is too. Don't line up, Unjustified. You got to go together. Lake will be the first one in and the only one required. Diffuse comes through, and we're tied at 2.
Big second round, keeping 3 alive, recovering the op with full rifles otherwise. Things are looking good for Unjustified in the early goings. EG, though, do well to get a bomb plant that will supplement to their economy. They'll still have to half buy in this one, but consistent bomb plants is the key to staying in it as a T side.
No money now for EG. Double Deegs, double Glocks, P250. And there's an easy pick for Cyrix.
The second pick to come down on that top box player. Happened to Junior when he had the op a couple rounds prior. I think it was Cyrix with an M4 that did him in that time as well. Deagle's on the extremities as well. The next to challenge. Arcade finds 1. Second in Walco is not gone down. Still taking damage.
That's a nice peak for Walco to take down, and that's an upgrade to an AK for automatic to use. No armor on any of these last 3, but if there is a player you want to have on the rifle, it may just be the former major winner, however. Wolfie deals with that threat. Junior and Walco, the last alive, stuck out in middle. Wolfie takes a peek out, spots ahead. A little bit messy, but that is what CS2 is like these days, and converts the last spray. A little bit low on health, but all's well that ends well. Unjustified up 3-2 now. Bayek forthcoming from EG. That op in Cyrix's hands, op duel against Junior will not be happening because Junior has nothing but an AK. Good amount of utility, sure, but no rifle, no op. I mean, does have the rifle, the automatic rifle, not the bolt action.
I'd rather see full AKs on T-side Ancient, even in CSGO.
Agreed.
Stand by it. I think we've said it ad nauseum because we've seen this map every dang series in CS2. This is definitely a rifler's T-side, not an opper's. Just too hard with the variety of angles you face. Early duels towards the middle. No outright commitment from EG, although they do have control given to them at this stage. Seb, though, making up for it elsewhere. Pushing down ramp, he walks into the angle. Good shot from Junior. Holding passively from the double doors, he'll find 1. He has the bomb on his back, though, so he needs to be careful. Wide swinging through the door, he'll find Arcade. That's 2 kills and a complete inroad towards B. There's still 1 defender here in Wolfie, but he has no utility. Does not have a lot of control either. No support from Lake either. EG, though, again, just biding their time, playing slow. Could come to bite them if they wait too long.
Lake needs this kill and needs it bad. Headshot, clean. But there's still a lot more work to do for Unjustified here. Ooh, ugly fight for Cyrix. He gets caught on the move, and that's going to open up the floodgates for EG. A wide open A site and a segmented 2-man defense. No presence whatsoever from the CTs on A, and it's going to be a Walt to the bomb planned for Evil Geniuses. A tie ball game at 3, most likely, as it would be foolhardy to attempt a retake here now if you are the CTs, and their money's not in a great shape either, so they need to save these 2 guns and save them bad. I don't think they're going to get the op back for Cyrix either. And Nate, Junior, he didn't have the op. It worked better for him with an AK.
Yes, it did. I want to say as well, it seems like EG go for this early aggression as a unit, and they just kind of stall. But the concerning thing to me is they stall and then just hold alone. They have a player in red doors that's totally expected. They have a player A main that begins his probe alone after the CT side is reset. George is lucky that he catches the Opera in rotation. He's lucky he catches them going for information, because if he peeks a second earlier or in a little bit later, he might just swing right into an op already posted on the angle. So it feels like EG are playing a very, I don't call it 50-50, but like segmented, very individual T side that's definitely exploitable if Unjustified can get the read.
This is a good time for a timeout from Unjustified too, because I think they also feel the importance of this CT side. They know how many people, or how many rounds rather, they need to get on the board, and it just seems to me that if they don't, if they fall down here, not only are they broken, it's 5-3, 6-3 possibly, and then it's just the end of the road. They need everything out of this half, and they haven't had enough to start it off with. And
as we said,
there has to be a drop for Seb, surely.
There has to be. Sirik spot on op. Did Arcade save a rifle? If he did, he might have dropped one. If not, Wolfie did. There should be a gun on the ground. As we mentioned, 7 absolute minimum. 8 or 9 is ideal. Or realistic. That would give them an opportunity. They need the pistol, but it would make it possible. The pressure is on. Can't lose more than 1 or 2 more rounds Unjustified, and EG might just be getting the ball rolling. Smoke towards the middle, but no spam from Lake. There it is, finally. It won't hit its mark. Walko will just sidestep that instead and go towards Donut, which has been completely abandoned, might I add. Seems like EG are making the right read as they lean heavily towards A. Arcade will try to fight his way in through the smoke. He'll spam 1, but he takes a lot of damage in return, and he can't make any inroads into the actual site. Unjustified smoked out, will have to posture for a retake. And while they do have kits and utility, it's going to be a very bloody battle to get back into it.
They honestly have to. Not anymore. Don't go for it now. With 5 alive, they had a good opportunity. 4, it's saving time. And I think now, Nate, that puts us on the fast track to map 3. EG are in their groove. They're in their stride. The CT side is not up to snuff right now from Unjustified. And I don't think their T side's going to be able to pull it off.
I agree. Again, this is a CT-sided map for both of these teams. It's pretty even. Not even pretty even. It's kind of even for EG. 53.5 CT, 46.1 T. But it's very, very lopsided for Unjustified, who only have a 32.2% win percentage of T-side rounds. That's less than 1 in 3. And that's against normal opponents, might add. That's not against teams of EG's caliber. It's a solid investment, though, for Unjustified. They did save most of those weapons, as you mentioned. EG, though, with their confidence, are going to aggress in middle voraciously. Automatic taking point does a lot of damage. Throws a nade. Doesn't quite get the second, though. He was left on an island. He had no support. I think his teammate might have been mollied off. And Sirix segments the A-site take as well, catching George, leaving just Walko try and take control. Hex and Smoke is going to try to find some way back into this, but he's not even going to commit. Junior tagged down to 42 on his own op, coming out of A main. Bombs have to be planted, and EG are being picked apart. A sudden resurgence from Unjustified leaves just Junior and Walko on A and up the creek without a paddle.
It feels like this 8 defense has essentially been X player getting left up a creek without a paddle. And this time it's EG's turn to experience it. It's a very good shutdown from Unjustified. They flip the cards, the timeout works, does what exactly it needed to do. And there's the op striking. Junior can't get anything done there. He's stuck. And now, what's the adjustment from EG? Because, yeah, overconfidence has bred to a bit of complacency. Still, they're in a good spot financially and on the rounds, on the scoreboard. Unjustified are still shaky. They're still unsure. They're still unconfirmed. There's opportunities for EG to really establish the stranglehold, tighten that vice. Junior going back to that op on T side Ancient too. That is something that neither you nor I are the biggest fan of in general. But Junior has to make it work now, and yeah, look at this read from EG, and look at the read from Unjustified in response. Oh!
Finally winning that duel,
was
though.
nice.
That's different. We've seen that duel lost twice by EG. This time it's won. Seb, though, in the corner is unexpected. He has support from the caves as well. And while Hex will find Arcade, Seb will double down, and Wolfie's here to support as well. Good damage done. Seb swinging out on a limb, finds a third to add to the cap. 3 kills in the round. Lake on the flank finds Junior, the opper. That leaves Automatic. Tim, he was lurking towards A. We always have an A-site lurk. Normally it's been George, but this time it's Automatic. And it has to be expected at this stage. Time since the last opponent was taken down has been so long. They have to know he can be anywhere. Seems like Seb is just holding the cross from the cubby. Lake has cleared a Snake. He's cleared towards T spawn. Should have a very firm read of this one, Unjustified.
Just gotta win 3 more, Nate. That's all they have to do. It's just a trifle of a result, right? They only gotta make it a grand total of 5 in a row to close at the half. Easy pickings. This round should be easy for Unjustified. Just the Glocks against them. For the next 2, that's where the going gets tough. 7 bare minimum for Unjustified out of the CT side. 8 is where they'd like to sit. Can they achieve it? It's going to be a weird road, and this round notwithstanding, they have the op marooned alone on A. That seems like a recipe for a problem. Not quite disaster, but for a problem.
Yeah, alone on A against Pistols is scary. Luckily, they aren't forcing the issue. But EG are reading into it. They are slowly stomping around.
There's been so many rounds where it's just crawling through molasses in wintertime.
They finally come.
Not moving.
Cyrix is going to stick around. He's not going to jump in, and that's the overwhelming force we were expecting, that we were worried about. Lake from Donut will try to ease the issues, but no, Junior's got his special weapon. Seb, I believe on a longer flank. No, actually, long range from spawn finds one. He's stabbed in the back, though. George through Temple finds one, tags down Wolfie as well. Wolfie ties it up, sure. This can still go either direction. Plant is going down, Automatic getting the bomb to dirt, starting the timer, lighting a fire under the butts of Unjustified, and both players are smoked in and stuck in towards Donut. AK and M4 versus Op and AK. One player lit on both teams. Junior on the Op. Oh, a middle of the open hold, a very audacious call that is expected or at least punished. It leaves Automatic on full HP, the veteran of the squad. Against 2. He tries to swing, but the aim punch is so punishing. Arcade takes him down by virtue of the Kevlar, but that round should not have gotten that close.
Should not have gotten that close, but that's what happens when you leave an op alone on a site. Especially against Pistols. Their whole MO is swarm tactics. It's the Zerg from StarCraft. And that's what happened to Cyrix. He got the 1 kill. What's he going to do for a second or a third? He can swap to the sidearm, maybe get 1 more, but he's pretty much marooned, alone, no way out. He's got to fight his way through, do what damage he can, and go down in a holy moly blaze of glory. That's a good pick from Automatic. Good little smoke destruction and good tap.
Automatic had a slow start. I think the Glocks are what I'm going to liken to a baby bear. If there's one, there's going to be 4 more.
Maybe
Always a mother
bear,
lurking
too.
on the corner. Yeah, the 4 pistols are the metaphorical mama bear in this situation, and they're not going to back down when their cub goes into a dangerous situation.
Yep.
4 versus 4 secured. Op this time is in towards Caves, and it does find one around the smoke. Arcade also dropping Junior. Things looking up for Unjustified. We said 8 would be ideal. They're going to be 1 round away from that, assuming they convert this 4 versus 2.
George going to do what he can to fight his way out here. Nothing. Arcade gets the kill. Flash might have pumped, but it was a little too late. Nice finish from Wolfie. There's that 7th for Unjustified. Now, Nate, this becomes scary for EG. Unjustified is leading into that 8th round, potentially, that we said kind of was that winning number for them. And that statistic, though, of a 32.2% T-set win rate is something I cannot get out of my mind.
It's haunting. Again, it puts a lot of pressure on that pistol round for me. Now, granted, some of those stats are from CSGO. It's important to note. But 32.2 or thereabouts is an abysmal scoreline to have on any map. Unjustified. Heavily advantaged in riflery in this one. Arcade wins the opening versus Automatic as well. He's just not had a solid performance on this map. It's unfortunate. Lake in towards Donuts. Going to harass before the plant goes down. Just Mac 10s and Galils. No utility. Actually, 1 smoke, excuse me, remaining for EG as they get the bomb to dirt. Unjustified looking to mount this retake. Keep in mind, it's the last round of the half. Bomb is ticking away, but Unjustified know they have time to work with.
Only about half the clock, though. They're going to have to hurry. Molotov fades. Lake goes out first. Doesn't see anything but Cyrix with the 1. Hex trades it back, and Junior from A main will pop another one. Wolfie sprays for a pair. They know where Junior is, too. He falls to Wolfie on the bomb with the kit. Unjustified have grabbed their 8th. Can they take this 2-0? Find out after the break.
We said 8 to 9 was the bar for Unjustified on their CT side. They achieved the lower of those two numbers. The question is, can they finish it out on their T side? It's their statistically far and away lagging side. Pineapple Phillips and Boggs on the mic. Unjustified on the T side of Ancient. Pistol round. No dualies to be seen for either team, but there is a kit smoke for Junior, and there is utility and a P250 Super Soldier for Unjustified. A walk through middle will end in a play towards B. X is the only one here playing retake, trying to spot the cross, but to no avail. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 post plant, and as we know, these are ugly and bitter battles in a full server.
Yeah, it's just like Vertigo, classic pistol 5v5 retake, except it's on Ancient, and Glocks up close and personal around the cube are never something easy to deal with. It's also hard to clear them out of cave. Just the Glocks up close and personal in general, you don't want to deal with it on a pistol, but they're going to run all in. That's a nice pair of headshots from Hex and Walco. Cyrix with one more, looking for more damage. Cyrix with 2, make it 3 on the round. He's still alive. Oh, Junior 1v1 now. Lake in the cave. P250. Here's the smoke, spots the shadow, spams away, but Junior's not enough time. I think it's gone. It's tick, tick, boom. No!
Got it. I thought I heard the sound of the defuse.
Same.
And there's no pop-up to tell me how close it was. This is so sad.
5
That was, yeah, honestly, yes. Maybe a little more.
That's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, but required, I would say. As I said, very difficult T side. Pistol round still felt like not completely necessary, but definitely a big boon for Unjustified. And given the economy being unchanged and the round count being changed, pistol rounds have a bigger and bigger effect on the game. Unjustified seemed near guaranteed to get a 10th. And from there, it's only 3 rounds separating them from victory and a 2-0 victory in the series by extension.
Yeah, they just 2-0'd Party Astronauts, so EG is kind of another one up on the ringer, and that would be a massive W from Unjustified. And I think that would spike their power ranking on the Dust 2 US power rankings if that comes to fruition for next month. Lake, though, line up easy peasy for 2. Continues the spray, grabs. Actually, with Cyrix with the second one. Lake with the third, Cyrix with the fourth. And Wolfie with the 5th. A little more excitement than should have happened.
Yeah, a little bit crazy. That's how it is when the pistols group up. 10-4 secure. That was an expected 10th, though. EG have to put their foot down now. There's no 0-4 start like we saw in Vertigo. If we have an outcome like that here in the second half, it's going to be 12-4. They have to win this rifle round. They have to win multiple in a row at that to really get back into this one. They're trailing by 6. We do have a pause called. It appears to be a technical issue, or an oopsie as we like to call them. Technical and tactical do sound too alike. But we do get an interesting glimpse into the buys here. We get 3 Galils, 2 AKs, good utility, versus M4s, FAMASs, and the Scout for Automatic. Again, I hate singling out players, but Automatic's had a very slow start. George as well is only at 5. It's been very difficult for those 2 players.
Yeah, it's not been good for those 2. And of all the players on EG you don't want to see at the bottom of the scoreboard, Automatic is one of them. The other, I mean, George, you could see him at 3-4. You know, that's fine. Because you want Hex Jr. and Automatic doing the bulk of your killing, since George plays a much more supportive role. But you do not want Automatic with that kind of a rough performance. No. That is incredibly concerning, for one. And for 2, we got our match medic, so we're getting back into it.
Yeah, if there's anyone you want to be at the bottom, it's not Automatic. It's not your veteran.
Yeah,
your veteran should be the consistent one.
It's not your major winner.
When you can't think of something to call him, you call him the major winner. It's a nice gimme.
I mean, he was
okay.
The brightest star for NA for a minute. Then he went to Cloud9, and we're not live again.
Yeah, we're definitely not live. I was going to say, maybe they're going back to lineup nades, but I doubt it. And this seals it. Definitely not live.
Yeah, this one's going to take a minute, I guess.
Much like the start of the map, you're going to have some growing pains. Again, it is CS2. Things have been crazy, I heard earlier in the day, for ECL and EU. It was far worse than we have it now, so I'm still counting my lucky stars. But of course, hopefully things will be starting sooner rather than later. Again, a lot on the line here. 10-4 is the score for those of you keeping track at home. 3 rounds separating Unjustified from a 2-0 victory. And while the scalps of Party Astronauts is a pretty big deal, I would say the scalps of EG is a far greater one in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's levels here. Party Astronauts, they're good. Yes. EG, top 4 in North America. I would say after Unjustified, I would put EG around 4. But that's still a very good placement, considering complexities in the playoffs of IEM Sydney. They actually play, I want to say it's close to midnight Central Time tonight against Betboom, and that'll be a good one. Hopefully, Complexity could win that. Yeah,
probably
they play tonight.
Yeah, it's Australian time, which is really messed up for Americans.
It's EU's having some trouble with it too, but the Aussie crowd deserves an event. The Aussies deserve an IEM for sure.
They do. The time just definitely throws me off.
Yeah. But then you have M80, Nouns, which Nouns have beaten EG in 5 consecutive series.
Yep.
And then you have EG. I think that rounds out a pretty clear-cut top 4 in NA, with EG being at the bottom of that. Unjustified come into CS2 as, they're ECL, but they're towards the bottom of ECL. They're one of those teams that they can scrap away, maybe stave off relegation. But PA, EG, back-to-back 2-0s, that makes them a serious threat.
Yes, it does. And you mentioned M80 as one of those top 3 or 4 teams. I haven't seen a lot of M80 at all recently.
They're playing in EU right now, and they're winning.
They're in EU, right? Yeah, they are winning.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they just took down Anonymous 2-1.
Okay, yeah, they're winning. They're winning. Never mind. They're definitely winning. Haven't seen much of them in NA, in ECL. That's because they're busy otherwise elsewhere in a stronger region, I dare say, and finding success, as you mentioned. We're finally back into the action, ladies and gentlemen. The technical issues have subsided, have been abated, and we do have a bye very similar to what we saw earlier, but we do not have a scout for automatic. We do have an M4 instead. 4 M4s and a FAMAS versus 3 Galils and 2 AKs. Early damage exchanged, passive hold from Unjustified. Some players towards Snake and some outside of middle. For the most part, they're just waiting for EG to make a move.
Yeah, it's a much better thing to have the M4 than the Scout in this situation. Well, really in most situations. And Walco can't get out of that Snake situation. Sirix picks up Hext as well. 2 kills, no response whatsoever from EG. This mid control wasn't even really taken after that either. They just drop a smoke and back off. That's a really nice little bit of work from Unjustified's rifles, leaving Automatic George and Junior to try and salvage the pieces of a broken round. B is relatively undefended, but it's a good lean from EG to get 2 of their 3 players over towards the B side of things, with George going in towards Q. Junior in towards Jaguar, Deep Jaguar. All this utility coming in. There you just got to take the 1v1 against George here, get the bomb down. Sep wins it without falling. Junior won around that smoke. And Arcade watching the flanky. This is such a good post plan from Unjustified. They are looking perfect here. And there's no response from EG. Great presence there onto Junior.
Automatic's the last down. He's unexpected. He slipped the gap, but can he actually pull off the 1 versus 4? As we mentioned, he had a slow start. He gets 1. Can't reset the spray, though, against Wolfie. Good trade from him. And as we mentioned, a slow start would spell disaster. And I dare say disaster has struck. 11-4. 2 rounds separate Unjustified from, I dare say, I'm going to take the free one, an Unjustified sweep in this series versus EG, a team that we've been singing the praises of as of late, with solid performances at the ESL Challenger League close qualifier for North America, otherwise in ECL as well. There's a very uncharacteristic fall from grace for them.
It is an incredible tumble from Mount Olympus. I won't even say it's Icarus flying too close to the sun here. It's just being an abandonment, a banishment. And Arcade has caught Hext, who's just jumping around in cave. He waltzes up onto site, strolling about. Bombs going down. Wolfie's still in middle. EG's force buy with no response as of yet. Make it 2 for Arcade. Jumping with the MAC-10. Save call has to be here for EG. And Wolfie has just revealed another player. That spray gives him George's position. Backstab, upgraded gun. That's nice, but EG need more than nice. They're now down 8. 8 rounds of map and match point here as Arcade farms another. Lake takes down one more. All they can muster is potentially a FAMAS, and that's even just a potential because he's on the hunt. Lake is running through. Is automatic going to survive? He hears the footsteps. He's backed into a corner. He will get sprayed down by Lake. No survivors. Match point for Unjustified. 8 of them. They have dominated map 2. And they have woken up in CS2.
Another team coming alive off the back of CS2's release. And I am more than ready for it. I would love to see a tight and contentious ECL Season 46 now that CS2 is out in an actual playable form. Unjustified should have a relatively okay time putting this over the line. Good spam from George and a good trade from Automatic as well, but it's only a tenuous advantage. 3 versus 4, and Hext is still... Actually, Hext and Walco are both on compromised weapons, and both towards Cave as well with MP9s. Smoke tried to be thrown there. Players get in front of it, but the MP9s still thrive. Trades come through, but it still leaves Arcade in a 1 versus 2. Junior and Automatic should play this together. They should have this round in their favor, but Arcade? Okay, never mind. Automatic stays behind, holds the short lane, while his teammate holds the long. That's a free kill for Tim, who's starting to come alive. But EG, a monumental task still ahead of them. The economy of Unjustified still yet to be broken, and 7 rounds in a row required to get to overtime.
Another buy up from EG. This time with a lot more rifles around it. Of course, Unjustified can buy everything they need. Just need one more round. If they let it slip at this point, that would be an incredible relapse, but I feel like Unjustified have the confidence to get this one over the line right now. I don't have any lack of faith in them anymore. I think they've definitely proven themselves that Party Astronauts was not just a fluke.
Yeah, I think they're really punishing EG's kind of out solo style, out and alone. Not to mention the very slow play from EG as well. It's kind of been called out. Just kind of comfortable waiting.
Yeah. And I don't blame them either. It's like if the other team wants to play super slow, let them.
Good control from EG, though, in this round. 2 players up Snake. They've walled off Lake. We'll activate once the smoke subsides, but can he actually find an opening? That's a big question. Holding the smoke. Teammates have fallen back. They could go either direction Unjustified. It's all a question of where can they find inroads. EG. Falling back to sites now. Content with what they did. They still have this double up in towards Donut. If a play comes towards A, it could be blindsided by both those players.
Oh, timing. Unlucky for Arcade. George will capitalize. Hext will pick up Lake as well as the entry comes in on towards the A side. 3 players here. Automatic strikes again. Junior sprays. It's not enough for a kill, but it does force Seb away, but he does retain the bomb. No time, though. Save called for Unjustified. And EG will draw within 6, but it's still a very long road back. Much more confident round from EG, but still, one thing goes wrong and they're done. They put themselves in such a horrible position.
Yeah, they activated a little too late. It's encouraging to see them finally playing their own game, finally finding their footing, but they left themselves no rope. They lose one if Unjustified go for one of those very audacious, aggressive plays with Tech 9s like we saw in Vertigo. I think we saw 2 half-buy victories for them. We even see one of those, it's over. It's curtains. They win the series 2-0. EG need to go 1 round at a time, play your game, show us why this is a CT favored map for you, in your favor. Justified, though. still have a solid buy. AKs, 1 Galil, 3 AKs, and an op. Junior as well has a big green at his disposal on the defense.
And there's a good start from Walco, aggressing in through Cave. Peeks down to Snake, and Lake takes a dirt nap. Yeah, that sub 50% win rate for both of these two teams on T's side. 46.1 for EG, 32.2 for Unjustified, although Unjustified have definitely skewed that statistic in a positive manner after this half. But EG, the CT side for them, 53.5% win rate. Such a long, arduous path to get back in.
And the hardest thing to chew on for EG is the fact they only had 1 rifle round before series point.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they finally got their second rifle round on the board. They lost the pistol. They lost the second. They had rifles in the third and lost it. Lost the fourth on a save. And then finally they can put their foot down with a second rifle round. That's not a lot of time to work with. And again, the round changes for Counter-Strike 2 really bearing their ugly head in this one. EG,
yeah, even the end of Vertigo looked like EG wasn't ready for it to end at 13.
Yeah.
Save call again for Unjustified.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was wondering what they were doing. If 15 seconds left, they're in T-spawn. It makes sense. But they don't have a lot of money to work with. They're going to have $0 from this round because of it. Wolfie now's giving away his position as well. Well, these players are hunting. I don't think they'll force the issue, EG. They'll be happy building up that economy, making sure they can have whatever they want in rounds going forward, should they lose a lot of players. Unjustified are going to continue to force buy. They got a Galil on Lake. Arcade could go for the same, or Arcade could go for a Mac 10. We've seen some good Mac 10 play from Unjustified.
It's timeout time, man.
Would be a good time for a timeout, but Unjustified, we didn't see them use a single one on Vertigo.
No, they used one here on Ancient, but they could use another. There's 3 usable. Why not try it here and now? EG have adapted well, but more importantly, they're actually hitting their shots again. That's the biggest difference between EG for the first 17 rounds and EG for the last, 4. They're hitting shots. They're winning their gunfights. That's what they weren't doing for the entirety of that first half, aside from the first 6 rounds or so. And look at that! Junior still half blind, hits the shot onto peeking Cyrix. Probably aware somebody crossed, given that left-hand peek, and Walco down the ramp. That's an aggressive peek, and Hex has been spotted too. Lake is low, but he's got the solitary flashbang. No Shadow showing yet. There! Shadow gives him away, but he gets the dink onto Hex. Automatic needs to stand tall. He needs to wake up here. He's got 1, 2 more to face.
No support either. He's paranoid about it. Flank timing's everything, and Wolfie catches him looking the wrong direction. 3 versus 2 secured. Bomb hitting the dirt. Junior on the flank with the up. Might find what... Ooh, timing's everything. Seb, not a clean duel, though. It gives Junior a chance to rechamber, and Junior will not miss a second time, tying things up. It's do or die for EG. Junior and George, Double J, left to entry. George falling without finding one, leaves the op in an unlikely clutch. 1 versus 2, back against the wall. He does have the kid at least, but they're grouped up. It should be impossible. He swings. He finds the first Arcade. No ammo left. He does some damage, but can't get the kill, and he's low. Junior through the wall keeps the team alive, and we have yet to see an op clutch, and that was a critical juncture to find one from Junior.
Junior saves the day again for EG. Another 20 bomb performance from him, where his teammates are significantly away from his kill tally. Junior is single-handedly carrying EG right now. And he's clawing them back. Timeout called now by Unjustified. And Nate, you and I have both talked about this ad nauseum, about calling timeouts going into a full buy versus into a half or a save.
This might be a full buy.
It shouldn't be.
No, it's not.
Not with the round count.
Yeah. Rein it in. Make sure you have everything you could desire. They're going to go for pistols. and armor. Actually, Lake does go for a rifle. I just want to hear a rifle, and it looks like we are going to have tech problems.
Yay.
Hopefully they won't last too long. They
Thank
haven't
you,
thus far
CS2.
tonight. I was going to say, CS2 has done wonders for tech pauses.
It really has.
It feels like the match medics are quicker. It feels like players can more readily reconnect. While we have had some issues and some teething problems with CS2, I feel like the back end has been a much easier thing to navigate.
Yeah, the spaghetti code isn't bad. So we should be back in here pretty quick. Unjustified. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door, but they cannot get through the pearly gates, Nate.
No, they can't. Match medic in effect. Again, really quick and easy, it looks like. As you mentioned, Unjustified have been knocking on that door for, 4 rounds in a row now? Yet to actually get an answer. EG are beginning to make me believe they were down by 8. They need to win 8 in a row to get to overtime, and they have won 4 of those 8 thus far.
Yeah, they're halfway there, and they are most certainly living on a prayer. They've got a little more work to do. A lot more work to do. And somebody's got to help Junior out. He can't be the only guy doing all the work. He needs a friend. Somebody to be there with him.
Anyone as well. Everybody else has been
matter.
kind of lackluster, yeah.
Yeah. Just one person to step up. Because we all know the individuals on EG, every single one of them can have a moment. It's just no one's having a moment except for Junior, who's just consistently performing. That time he just gets unlucky, splits the goalposts there. And it's a bomb plant opportunity here for the T's. Junior he pushes forward because of the flames. He's burning alive. He somehow gets out of there, but not through into CT spawn. Bomb down, Lake 1 for 1. George takes a massive amount of damage off of that. Walco backs away. They're ready for him. They're going to double peek now. Walco will get traded. And it's all up to Seb. 1v3, 1v2. Low HP on Tim and Hext. Flashed in. They know where he is. No time for the defuse. They got to go for it. He got one more. Automatic's got the defuse, but this is a narrow margin for victory, especially the low investment. Timeouts make a difference, folks. Use them when you play yourselves. If you're playing it open, or I am advanced, main, whatnot, I believe registration's still open for season 47 as well. If you want to go ahead and run over to Face It to sign up for that.
I will say, timeout did wonders, and also I said one random rush with pistols could get them across the line. Didn't quite work that time, but I rest my case. Definitely could have gotten there in a very, very narrow difference. Just one thing going wrong for EG would have been enough for that one to go the way of Unjustified. At plant as well will facilitate a full investment. AK's op full utility. M4's op your full utility as well for EG. 3 rounds and they will have overtime. 1 round and Unjustified will have the series in 2-0 fashion.
Overtime would be par for the course for how this one's gone. Unjustified definitely want that back-to-back 2-0. EG want anything but. And for all the fans at home, I wonder what you guys want. That's a good spray from Lake. Gets flashed, but he gets the spray anyways. Automatic goes hunting. He gets burned. The predator becomes the prey. Junior flamed away. 3 to defend. 5 to attack. Junior gets help from George with that first kill. Molotov forces him away. He's tagged. He's bagged. Arcade with a big one. Hex sprays wildly. He rings it in, but he's so low on health. These last 2 players. So what the? Did Lake see the top of Hex's head?
No chance. No chance. That smoke
no
is
way.
guising everything. Raw awareness to find that kill. Leaves George, the A-site defender, the A-site anchor, in a 1 versus 3. 40 HP, bomb ticking away. To say this is a Herculean undertaking would be an understatement, and yet he has no alternative. He has to go for it. The bait and switch was there in case Cyrix missed the shot, and he did not. 13 Was it 8 or 9? 13-9
9.
was the score in favor of Unjustified. It took them a while. They stumbled a bit. They lost, 5 in a row, but they got it across the line without overtime necessary, and they sweep a series versus EG in a 2-0 fashion.
A brilliant performance from Unjustified. Scrappy on Vertigo, but much more composed and, I would say, structured on Ancient. A very standard performance, but they held their line really well on the CT side. They learned that going aggressive wasn't the way. They adapted well. They got their rounds on the board that they needed. We said they needed about 7 to 8, and it worked out. The confidence, they got to map and match point very early on, and it took them a bit to close it out, but a cornered beast is always the fiercest, and EG were not able to get out of that corner. They were shut down, and Unjustified have now just established themselves as a serious contender moving forward through season 46.
Yes, they're now 4-2 as an overall record. Scalps to name are Party Astronauts and EG. And at this point, I feel like the sky's the limit. I feel like they played really well on Ancient, specifically exploiting EG's passivity on the offense. They play slow. They want their less experienced opponents to get aggressive and antsy. And yet, Unjustified, the inexperienced opponents hold their ground, hold their nerve, and in that way, they exploit EG and come out looking smarter than the very same smartness on the EG side.
Yeah, it was a great performance from Unjustified. Everyone pulling their own weight. Good opping, good rifling, good supporting, good trades. Spacing was really well done. You didn't see Unjustified lining up either, which was something really important to note. So many times you'll see teams have lineups on peaks, and that'll cost them. Unjustified didn't have the little mistakes like that. They played a very great game of Counter-Strike, and it is really good to see from them, too, because we've seen Unjustified for several seasons now, Nate, and they always seem to be, all right, towards the bottom, usually avoiding auto-relegation, but never at the top, not even really what you can consider to be a fringe playoff team. But now they're looking a lot more consolidated, a lot more secure. They have a style. They have a personality as a team now. And it's something that I think a lot of the bigger dogs are going to have to watch out for, because Unjustified right now find themselves in a playoff spot.
Yes, they do. Again, congratulations to Unjustified unseating the evil geniuses in ECL. Hopefully we get to see more shakeups to come, more upsets to come now that CS2 is the field in which this season is played. With that said, that concludes the broadcast for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. On the behalf of my co-caster Boggs and myself, Pineapple Phillips, and of course, the production crew here on the ECL stream, we bid you a good night. Boggs and I will see you tomorrow for some ESL Challenger Don Shopping South American qualifiers. But till then, have a good night and take care.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.